Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk about business interruption. If it does or doesn't exclude viruses, what are your choices? What can you do? And to help answer those questions, we have Bill Eiland, the attorney from Eiland and Richie, on today, who he and I have been friends a long time, and they've got some good information that's going to help give us some direction on what we need to do to get ahead of the game. Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas, and I'm the mom.
I'm Katie. I'm a payroll specialist, business owner, and detail-oriented person that makes things happen, and I'm the daughter. Welcome to Cheers to Business.
Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, you and I have known each other for a really long time, haven't we?
Just a couple of years, about 20 years now, back when we were 15 years old when we first met. So that makes us 35 years old, right?
That's right. Well, I keep turning 39 about 12 times now, so I'm good.
Right.
So the show today, everything we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 weeks, we've had an employment attorney on, HR, Wiggins has been on twice, young entrepreneurs. I think the next front we're going to see with this thing is business interruption insurance. So, most policies are being denied. And so can you tell us about that, what businesses can do?
Yeah, and this is still kind of uncharted territory. We are looking at any business out there that has business interruption insurance, and most companies, even if it's a small business, typically these companies have this coverage, even though they may not even know they have it. I have talked to many employers and business owners that, when I've asked them if they have business interruption insurance, they say, well, I don't think so, or I don't know, only to find out that they do. And, what that insurance is for is exactly what it sounds like. If there's something that happens, typically it's with a hurricane or a storm or, something of that nature that interrupts that business where you cannot operate like you typically can. It is a crucial bit of insurance. But as you just mentioned, what we're seeing right now, and I'll explain the reasons in a second, but most insurance companies are saying, no, it doesn't cover something like this.
But you're saying it might.
It might. Now, we have looked at many, and I do not want to give people false hope. We have looked at many insurance policies that, sure enough, after looking at it and having our experts and complicated language that you see in every insurance policy, we have got these people involved and letting them kind of peruse through these policies. We looked at one last week that was 100 pages. Now, a lot of these policies, they have what's called a virus, and even some of them have a pandemic exclusion. I don't know if I'd ever heard the word pandemic before all this, but it apparently was on the thoughts and minds of some of these companies years ago. And so they have a specific exclusion that says that if your business is interrupted because of a virus or a pandemic, the coverage does not apply. And really, there's not too much that can be done right now. And I emphasize right now because I think that there may be something that can happen later. But so there's a lot of policies that do exclude, and more policies than not that these businesses have that exclude coverage. However, we came across one the other day that absolutely applies because there's no exclusion.
All right. So, and I've had business policies forever and multiple business policies, and it just hurts my head to look at them. They're full of legalese. They're 100 pages thick. Who can I get to look at my policies?
Any lawyer, and again, not to pat myself or promote myself and my firm, but we are looking at these, and any business can get their policy to me. Just make a copy of it, and it's confidential. We don't disseminate it to anybody. We will take a look at it, have our experts take a look at it, and we will make a determination free of charge as to whether we believe that they have a potential claim. And if they do, so be it. They can, if they choose to hire us and to allow us to try to prosecute the case and try to get them the coverage that they deserve, then we'll do it. But there is a no obligation, free of charge look at for us to look at the policy, and we will let them know.
Yeah, for marine exhaust systems, I can tell you right now, I want you to look at that. So how do I get that information to you?
You can email it to either me, my secretary, my paralegal, and then we will immediately get it to the expert that we're using. And they are, again, these experts. And like you said, these are complicated policies. These are, as you mentioned a while ago, you'll have a 100-page policy and there'll be 1 page of what they cover and then 99 pages of exclusions. And so, these companies are not stupid. That's why insurance companies make as much money as they do. They love taking premiums in, but they do not like paying claims.
Sounds like a drug commercial. It'll do this, and then it tells you all the side effects.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it'll say it'll decrease your blood pressure, but you may die in your sleep. The first night you take it. So I would encourage everybody. There's nothing to lose. And tell all your friends, anybody that that owns a business. Now, if you cut grass and landscape on the side and you're not incorporated and you do not have general liability insurance, then you're not going to be qualifying for this. But if you own a restaurant, if you own a tax accounting company or whatever, a car dealership, it could be anything. If you own a business and if you have an insurance policy, get it to us. We'll take a look at it and see if we can try to guide you through it.
Okay, you said email it and you gave 3 people, but what's an email address? What's the best email address to send these to?
I'll give you a couple. My email address is B for Bill, and then it's EILAND at ER Law Firm, and that's all one word, erlawfirm.com. So it's Eiland at erlawfirm.com. And then the other email I would give you is my assistant, Holly Jones, and her email is hjones at the same email address, erlawfirm.com. And I would send it to both of us because we are, as everybody, we're in different times right now. We are, I'm working from the house a good bit, as I am right now. But if you email, you can first, if you may, people out there may just want to shoot me an email and say, hey, Bill, I heard you on the podcast. I'd like for you to look at my policy. And then we'll make arrangements to get that policy, either by email or they can make a copy, mail it to us, or make a copy and drop it off at the office. But we will take a look at it. And again, there's no obligation and it's 100% free of charge.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So next, as this thing is going to escalate, I can see in the future, I did a little research myself. And what I saw was that the proof of the interruption is going to be a lot of financial reporting of how it was before and how it is now. And it reminded me here on the Gulf Coast of going through for the BP money. Right. It reminded me a whole lot. And so, another takeaway I think for this show is if you do have a case or your insurance saying no when you do, or start as states, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, states possibly mandating the business interruption insurance. I want to encourage everybody to go ahead and get their financials in order. If you don't know how, that's one reason I have the mastery classes, is to teach people how to get their financial information in order, because you can't go to somebody and say, hey, my business was interrupted, give me some money. You have to prove it, and you prove it in the numbers.
No, absolutely. No, what I would encourage people is to get ahead of this, because like you mentioned, I do believe the states and maybe even the federal government are going to mandate and force insurance companies to some degree to pay these claims. Perhaps even if there's an exclusion in this coverage. There's politicians out there right now trying to save their behinds on both sides of the aisle, and so who knows what's left to come. I do believe we're going to see several more stimulus packages. Some of this may be rolled into these, but so it's best right now to jump on this. And again, good God, I know that I wouldn't know the first thing about. Even I'm a lawyer. Me and Alan Richie own our own firm. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff as far as You could have asked me a month and a half ago if I had a business interruption policy, and I'd have said, I'm not sure, because that's just not what I do. That's not, my kind of forte, so to speak, is not the nuts and bolts of the business side. And a lot of people that own businesses or restaurants or, whatever it is, they're creative people that are there to do whatever their craft is that they do. And they let somebody else typically handle all the minutia of the business stuff. And so just get it to somebody, let them take a look at it, and then we can walk it through.
Just like your business, we're all protective. Well, the insurance companies are going to be protective over their resources and their reserves as well. So, that's going to be their first point, thing is, no, we can't pay a claim. That's why we have insurance adjusters.
You're right. And, you mentioned, and I've been using that same example that you mentioned a little while ago. I've been telling everybody this is very similar to the BP oil spill. However, of course, this is even bigger, I believe, as far as the financial just destruction that this thing has done. But unlike BP, there's no target defendant that you can't sue the virus. Unlike, you could sue BP, you can't sue the virus. There's been talk about, maybe we can sue China one day. Well, good luck with that. You have a better chance of it snowing in August in Alabama.
So far, we've got two things people can do.
Right.
One, send you or someone else like you. I highly recommend you and your firm. I've been with you guys, and I will go ahead and full disclosure, I was your CPA from the beginning of the firm.
Yep.
I totally enjoyed doing Lawcall with you over the years, and I really think a lot of you and Alan. And so I am going to send you marine exhaust policy so you can look that over for me. Get your policy to someone, and Bill's going to give us all his website contact info in a little bit. And number two, get ahead of the game and get on your financials. Get your financials in order, whether you reach out to me or reach out to your CPA. That's how you need to first reach out to, getting your stuff in order. But number three, what can people do to get ready to go to the next phase of this thing as it keeps changing every day?
Well, I don't know if it's a number three, but it kind of goes back to number one. The business that we looked at their policy last week, and we found that there was no virus exclusion, and we are now, and because the insurance company had already denied liability. They said, no, this is something different. Even though there was no virus exclusion, they already denied it. So since we had the denial, and then we called the adjuster, I did, and said, hey, do you want to reconsider this? And they said, no, it's not covered on something like this. I didn't argue. I didn't do anything, but we're about to file a class action lawsuit now against that particular insurance company on behalf of every business that they cover. And it could be just local. It could be, nationwide, because they've stepped in it, and we gave them a chance, and they know very well that they should be covering on this situation. But the reason they say no, and again, getting back to number one, if you've been denied by your adjuster, which you are going to be, don't just take their word for it. Just like in a car wreck or slip and fall or whatever, just because they say, well, you don't have a case there. Unfortunately, too many people go, well, I guess I don't have a case, and then they just forget it. In a situation like this, you're going to get denied. You might as well look at it, or get someone, an expert, to take a look at it to see if you do have a case, because there are going to be a lot of people out there that don't think they have cases that are going to eventually have a.
If they have any questions, I see a follow-up show on this, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to evolve. People are going to need more information. So, if you will, I'd like for you to come back on, but I want our listeners to either email me questions to ask you, or go to our Facebook, or go to our website, cheerstobusiness.com, Cheers to Business on Facebook. Send me the questions. And let's really get on this thing to make sure people are prepared. I think that's the biggest thing, is people were not prepared for this. So now, if we can know about it, get our ducks in a row ahead of time. So tell the listeners all you and Alan and Richie's contact information. Where can they find you?
Yes, thank you for that. And I will say one more thing. If the people that are, like, if you're listening right now and you're not a business owner, but And you may say, well, this doesn't apply to me. But if you have family members or friends or next door neighbors or, whoever it is, if you think this might apply to them, please reach out to them and let them know, because they may not know this and they may not be listening to this podcast or seeing me on Lawcall. So absolutely just reach out, to anybody and everybody that you know of that this might apply to. Again, my name is Bill Eiland. It's Eiland. My office number is 251-666-1212. And again, my email address is bisland@erlawfirm.com. And then you can also go to our website, which is erlawfirm.com. And I believe we Facebook page as well. But, anytime you need, and then I also would encourage people to watch Lawcall on WPMI. We've been coming on since 2006. We haven't missed a Sunday since 2006. We come on at 10:30 at night on Sunday, right after the news. And as you can imagine, the last 4 or 5 weeks, this is basically talking about all things virus related, not only business interruption, but also how it's affected the courthouse system and cases and, child support orders. And I mean, it's really done a number on a lot of different things. So if you have any questions, you can always call us. We kind of want to, this sounds kind of hokey, but we kind of want to be the voice of reason and the legal voice in here in Mobile, not screaming and shouting and jumping up and down and, talking about how much money we got our clients. We want people to, because people are scared right now, and we want to see, if there's anything we can do for people, we're here to try.
Well, I think it's about being fair. I don't know that getting greedy never got anybody anywhere. I don't want something that I didn't already pay for. And if I paid this insurance in and now it won't pay, even though there's not an exclusion, I think I rightfully deserve to be paid.
Absolutely. And I hear this a lot. People say, I had a woman come into my office last month who has been paying for 25 years, been paying for uninsured motorist coverage. And she was hit by a person that had no insurance. And so I told her, said, well, the bad news is the person has no insurance. The good news is you have uninsured motorist coverage, which will take care of this claim. And she said, oh, no, I can't do that. And I said, why? She said, well, I've been, I don't believe, my insurance company didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not going to make a claim. I said, well, ma'am, you've been paying for this insurance for over 25 years, and it's just for this particular occasion if the other side didn't have insurance, and here you go. And she said, no, I don't think it's the right thing to do. And I was left, I'm just amazed. And she refuses to make a claim, but she's been paying for that insurance. So the point is, like you said, you want to get what you pay for. And if you've been paying premiums for something that applies, then you should be able to be reimbursed under the terms of the policy. We're not asking for companies to do anything other than what they're required to do.
Well, my accounting firm, when I had the CPA firm, I didn't file for BP, and I had opened up in 2010, but I didn't file it because I was making money off of it. To me, that was wrong. That was unethically. I was not hurt by it. I was helped by it. So why should I benefit from it? Because I already was. So I'm all about that. And nobody's heard me preach class action ever. But this is a different ball game, and this is people's livelihoods and feeding their children. All right, we're almost out of time, but Bill, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Any last takeaways for people?
Again, there's no reason to not reach out to somebody on this. Again, it is not going to cost you a dime. Don't think that there's some kind of bait and switch, situation going on where, you bring in the policy and we're like, aha, we've got you. And now we're going to make a bunch of money off of it. That's not what it is. You give us the policy. We'll take a look at it. If we think you've got a potential claim, we'll let you know, and then we'll let you know what we think that you should do from that point. You may very well not have a claim, but you may have a claim in the future once the government gets involved and starts mandating some of these insurance companies to pay. So go ahead and get your ducks in a row now. Let me or someone take a look at your policy, and then we'll give you an assessment as to what you need to do in the future.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I do think this is going to evolve with the state mandating. And, I have my new page is the CFO Consulting Services, and I've been putting SBA, PPP, EIDL information out. And so I'd like to include this kind of information if you can keep me posted.
Absolutely.
And just for the listeners. So that'd be great. All right. We end every show with cheers to. What do you say cheers to right now in this weird time? Cheers to longstanding friendships, business and regular.
That's right. Exactly. And cheers to my family. We haven't killed each other yet. My wife and I's our daughter lives in Chicago, and we were actually in Chicago in mid-March for the St. Patty's Day parade because she finally had an off week. And that's when all hell broke loose with this thing. And so we came back, and then we brought her back with us because they've been completely shut down up there. So it's been nice to have, we've got her daughter back. She leaves probably at the end of this month. And then our son, they shut down South Alabama. And so he's at home. So we're kind of a big, happy family again. And we've made the most of it. It's been bad, obviously, but there's some good takeaways you can have from this.
Yeah, I've said that from the beginning, if we choose to look at it from the left or the right, it's either empty or it's half full. And I think there's some opportunities for people in here to reinvent their business. And so I'm just excited to be a part of that right now.
I'll say one thing about the families. I saw a joke online that a guy said, I was sitting on the couch and I looked over and I saw this pretty blonde, and come to find out we've been married for 25 years and she's not so bad after all. So, people are starting to get to know each other a little bit better. Maybe some not for the good. They say that the two professions that are going to do well on this, or the two types of lawyers, are unfortunately bankruptcy lawyers, but also divorce lawyers. So we'll see what happens with all this.
That's right. Well, thank you, Bill, for coming on the show.
Thanks, sweetheart, and let me know when you'd like to come back.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.